And I just remember waking up and his hand was in my pants. I was in the middle of him and Jack. Okay. And I just felt so violated and scared. Like, I had never been through a situation like that ever. And not knowing who it was, like, I just woke up to a dark figure in the room next to me, laying in bed with his hands in my pants. I woke up freaking out. I pushed him away from me, and I'm like trying to tap Jack, and I'm like, Jack, and he's drunk as shit. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm pushing this guy off of me, and he doesn't care. I turned to the side, like closer to Jack, and I'm like trying to tap him. I'm basically on top of Jack in his back.
Jack Doherty is in serious trouble again, and this time it's explosive. His ex-girlfriend, McKinley, just dropped shocking claims exposing Jack's alleged criminal activity. What's worse, these aren't just rumors anymore. If the evidence she's sharing ends up in the hands of the police, Jack could be staring down some real legal heat. People online first thought this was just drama or clout chasing, but it's way beyond that now. McKinley reportedly revealed details of massive violations and criminal-level behavior tied to Jack's shady business agency. This isn't just messy, it's potentially criminal. The internet is going wild as people dig into what's really happening behind the scenes of Jack's agency. The deeper they look, the darker it gets. Many claim that what's coming out paints a picture of a manipulative empire built on unethical practices. And now, comparisons to Jeffrey Epstein, something once seen as far-fetched, are starting to sound disturbingly believable. If the authorities officially investigate, it's game over for Jack Doherty. No influencer status, no money, no connections could save him this time. So what's really going on right now? Let me break it down for you. Things just took a wild turn after McKinley appeared on Camila Aho's podcast, and what she revealed left everyone speechless. The stuff she said about Jack Doherty is beyond shocking. If what she's claiming turns out to be true, there might be nothing stopping Jack from ending up behind bars.
He just is saying, I'm gonna f you right now. And I woke him up, and Jack woke up, and I was like, get him out of here. Like, I don't know what to do. And he's trying to hunt me from the back while I'm talking to Jack, and Jack is awake. And Jack is like, bro, get out of here. Like, what are you doing? Go. And he was like, I'm fucking her right now. And I was just shaking. I was crying. I was in shock. And he just gets up and leaves the room. And I stayed awake that whole entire night. Like, and Jack went to bed. And I just was like, there's no way that happened to me right now. Like, I don't know what to do. I wanted to go home, but I was like, well, in the morning, like, I guess, like, Jack will remember, like, you know, like, what happened. I pulled Jack aside. I was like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, do you remember what happened last night? He was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I was like...
During the podcast, McKinley opened up about a disturbing experience from her past, one that allegedly involved Jack and his close friend. She didn't hold back as she hinted that Jack was the real mastermind behind what happened. The way she described it made it clear that this wasn't some misunderstanding. It was something dark and possibly criminal. Did you guys hear how dark and twisted this whole thing sounds? Now look, McKinley might not be perfect, but let's be real. What she's saying doesn't seem completely made up. Everyone knows Jack Doherty has a history of being shady when it comes to how he treats people, especially women. Allegedly, he used girls just to boost his image, flex his money, and run his business schemes, treating them like props instead of real people. Just imagine that. If this kind of thing could happen to his own girlfriend inside his own house, then how many others might have gone through the same thing without anyone knowing? That's the scary part.
I was so against it. It was against everything that I was, raised with. And
nobody really knows what goes on behind those walls. McKinley didn't stop there either. She later revealed even more disturbing details about what happened inside Jack's house. What's shocking is how Jack reportedly brushed it all off, acting like it was nothing. To him, those violations didn't matter. It's almost as if his mansion turned into a place where dark things just kept happening, and he didn't care. Did you guys hear this? Jack Doherty allegedly acted like he completely forgot what happened the very next day. And here's the thing. If Jack really wasn't the main culprit in all of this, why didn't he call the cops? That's the question everyone's asking. Even after the incident, Jack apparently couldn't clearly remember what really went down, which makes the whole situation even shadier. But let's be fair, McKinley doesn't seem totally innocent either. If she truly believed something serious happened, why didn't she go straight to the police back then? Instead, now after the breakup, when there's no emotional or personal link left, she suddenly starts speaking up about everything. You've got to admit, that timing looks suspicious. Could this be an attempt to grab attention or stay relevant online? Because people are definitely debating that. The comment sections are on fire. One person wrote, "Sorry, no sympathy for you. The essay card is overplayed." Another added, "Ultimate cringe unlocked." Someone else said, "So she didn't call the cops when it happened, but needed them to escort her out after the breakup. Interesting." And another viewer hit even harder saying, "Crazy how women go on podcasts to talk about this for a paycheck but never call the cops. They get paid for interviews instead." So what do you think? Are these comments fair or do they miss the real point? Let me know what side you're on. But one thing's undeniable. Jack Doherty's reputation for shady business just keeps getting darker. McKinley already exposed his controversial OnlyFans dealings before, claiming he allegedly pressured her to promote it and hinted that things behind the scenes were far from clean.
And then today, we got in one little argument. She swaps all her passwords, takes everything I've done for her, and doesn't even try to have a conversation with me. Calls these people on me.
This new revelation just adds more fuel to the chaos, but here's the twist. McKinley didn't walk away from Jack Doherty just because of those serious accusations. There's another layer to this story, and it looks like money had a lot to do with it. Reports suggest McKinley knew Jack's business was struggling and that his income had dropped hard. He allegedly started cutting back his spending drastically, and that lifestyle shift hit McKinley fast. From the start, she was living large, surrounded by luxury, expensive gifts, and lavish trips. She was used to that million-a-month energy. But once the money flow slowed down, things started changing. And so did she. People had already warned that their relationship seemed built on money, saying things like, "She'll leave the moment the cash dries up." Sadly, that prediction might have come true sooner than anyone thought. In the end, McKinley reportedly showed up at Jack's house with the cops, gathered all her stuff, and walked out for good. Just like that, the fairy tale lifestyle ended, and both of their reputations took another major hit. This was the biggest hit Jack Doherty had ever taken, and it completely shattered his image. After that scandal, his fame started fading fast. No matter what he tried, new videos, flashy stunts, even drama, people just stopped caring. Jack Doherty went from being one of the most talked about influencers to being completely ignored online. But things aren't quiet anymore, not at all. His ex-girlfriend McKinley is back, and this time she's publicly calling out Jack's OnlyFans business agency again. And she's not the only one. Even experts and big-name creators are now speaking up about what really went down behind that so-called agency. If you remember, John Bravo Films already revealed how Jack allegedly used girls, tempted them with money, and treated them like pawns in his profit-making game. Nothing about it was genuine. It was all business and manipulation. I completely agree with that. Things are getting serious now. When major names in the industry start exposing Jack Doherty's shady business moves and how he's allegedly been making millions by manipulating people, it's clear this isn't just another internet rumor. The walls are closing in fast, and it looks like the truth is finally catching up to him. Reports are even surfacing that authorities might be keeping a close watch on Jack. In fact, sources claim that police recently showed up at his house, and that's no small deal. Once law enforcement steps in, you know the situation has gone way beyond online drama.
Finds these girls that are naive, that are looking for fame, looking for money, right? He moves them in, he tells them he loves them, right? He starts filming them, putting them on OnlyFans.
If these investigations go any deeper and the allegations end up being true, Jack Doherty could be facing the biggest downfall of his career. And this time, there may be no escape. But you might be wondering, why is Jack Doherty still caught up in all this shady business? Well, here's the crazy part. In a recent video, another creator exposed how Jack allegedly manipulates people to help him hide what's really going on behind the scenes. And honestly, I totally agree with that creator because it makes complete sense. Jack has been covering up his questionable actions with that same flashy lifestyle he loves showing off online. Beyond McKinley's voice, there are now former associates and insiders leaking contracts, private chats, and audio clips claiming blatant manipulation, shady deals, and financial collapse behind the scenes. Some say Jack's agency promised girls a slice of income, hyped them with visions of viral fame, then pocketed most profits, leaving them with toxic pressure and limited support. One leak suggests he required content creators to sign agreements that heavily favored him, clauses locking earnings, taking control of accounts, or forbidding them from speaking out. Fans and critics are now filing petitions demanding accountability. One petition accuses Jack of promoting inappropriate content to young audiences via OnlyFans and calls for platforms to ban or monitor him more closely. This kind of grassroots movement is shifting the narrative from online gossip to real-world consequences. This isn't just internet talk. Authorities may already be digging. Reports claim police visited Jack's home recently, possibly reviewing claims tied to harassment, financial fraud, or misconduct. If evidence exists, bank statements, contracts, testimonies, those visits could lead to warrants or formal charges. Even more shocking, there's news that Jack was interrupted on a live stream when Child Protective Services, CPS agents, and law enforcement arrived.
Start to see the beginning of two things that Jack does quite a lot in his videos. One, manipulate the story to make it seem like he's the good guy, and two, using his money to make himself seem more important. Jack was self-aware, but only to the point of manipulation. He knew that he was super young and could hide behind that. This way he could just simply use the, well, I'm just so young and stupid, I don't know what I'm doing type of card to basically get off scot-free.
Citing an anonymous tip of child abuse, Jack denied having children and claimed harassment or swatting. Whether that CPS incident is real or staged, it amplifies how high this is getting. It's not just PR warfare, it's intersecting with government agencies. His follower count has started stagnating or dropping. Collaborators and sponsors are distancing themselves quietly. You won't see him name drop many big brands now. The content he's pushing, luxury cars, flashy wealth, is starting to feel hollow when contrasted against these allegations. Plus, social media commentators are digging through old posts, screenshots, DMs, resurrecting things that Jack probably hoped stayed buried. As expected, Jack's defense is in full swing. He's calling the leaks fake, the allegations drama, claiming people are jealous or fabricating stories. He said he's misunderstood, that he wants to set the record straight. But these denials are weak when multiple voices, documents, and recordings surface. He's also attempting to shift blame, painting McKinley as attention-seeking, or saying she misunderstood things. That kind of gaslighting narrative is predictable, but it's losing power as more evidence emerges. What's going to decide this is whether enough credible evidence lines up. Contracts, messages, voices, witnesses. Once that happens, public sentiment will collapse fast. People are already saying, blackout him, block him, cancel him. And if the legal system steps in, lawsuits, criminal charges, injunctions, that's the point of no return. He could lose assets, income streams, brand partnerships, and possibly freedom. There are a few possible endings here. Jack is found liable in court or criminal trials. Everything crumbles. He negotiates settlements, pays off some parties, suppresses some allegations, but never fully redeems public trust. He mounts a comeback, but only if he pivots hard, does public accountability tours, and reinvents himself.
It kind of worked, because he never really faced any actual consequences. Even when Jack would get kicked out or even literally get arrested, that didn't really matter. He was never truly punished. And this was because he still got his main reward, the views. He never learned or took accountability because it was all for good content. And Jack was buying his parents' luxurious houses and goods, so they weren't.
Which is rare in scandals like these. One thing is clear, this isn't just about one influencer anymore. It's a clash of power, manipulation, digital culture, and whether people in the spotlight can hide behind curated personas. This saga could set precedent for how influencers are held accountable in the age of leaks, podcasts, and public exposure. Nobody ever sees the dark side because Jack never lets that part of his life get exposed. But now that people are starting to talk and receipts are surfacing, the truth is coming out fast. Things are looking really bad for him right now. Some leaked clips even showed him allegedly using girls like tools to push his brand and boost his profits. And yes, those clips are still floating around online for everyone to see. It's wild. Now all eyes are on his controversial OnlyFans agency, and it's not looking good. The rumors, the testimonies, the leaks, it's starting to feel like there's real truth behind all of it. Even YouTuber George Janko once confronted Jack, telling him straight up to stop running such a questionable business. But instead of changing, Jack allegedly said he couldn't stop because he needed money to pay his bills. He literally said, "I'm just stressing out, like goddamn, all these bills are out." That moment said a lot. It showed how deep Jack is in this cycle, chasing money while ignoring the chaos he's causing around him. And now, with McKinley brutally revealing all these new shocking details, the situation is spiraling faster than ever. So the real question is, what's next for Jack Doherty? If everything that's being exposed turns out to be true, he could be staring at some serious legal trouble. But do you think justice will actually be served this time? Or will Jack, with all his money and influence, manage to slip through the cracks again? Let me know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates, because this story is far from over.